Hello, welcome back to Design Elements and Principles. Today's session, shapes. All right, so let's jump into it. I want to tell you right away, I'm not going to cover off any of the other stuff that I covered off in the Thursday's lecture. The rubric is there. The how to reach me is there. All that, the syllabus is there. The grading stuff is there. The course outline is there. If you have a question, just reach out. Ask me. That's how we're going to handle it from here on out. Any question at any time, I will answer it. Just reach out to me directly. Hey, I'm unsure about when things are due. I will point out the exact due date on your assignments for you. I'm unsure about the grading rubric. I will explain it to you, but I'm not going to do that in class anymore. I want to take care of what's important, and that's learning about the elements and principles of design and getting you to become graphic designers. All right, let's jump into this. Like always, I'm going to work backwards. Kind of easiest, quickest stuff. Knock that out. I'm going to jump back up to the shape lecture, and then we'll do research and the project. I will fully take you through each one of these so you have no questions about how to do it. New programs going to be introduced today, but it's going to be okay because last week a new program was introduced, and guess what? I'm seeing fabulous results. I can tell who's watching it. Great things are already happening. People are putting together stuff in InDesign who's never touched InDesign before. You can do it too. I believe in all of you. It's not as hard as you think it is. It's just because it's new to you. Sit you down in front of a piano. I don't know what to do. I can teach you chopsticks. No, not chopsticks. Hot cross buns, maybe. I barely know it. It only takes a couple of minutes. Hot cross buns. Anybody can learn it, even if you never sat at a piano. What we're going to do is little bits and pieces, and you're going to get better and better and better and better until your mind is going to be blown. You're going to look at the stuff you did session 1 and then session 16, and you'll be like, who was that person in session 1? Puh. Now look at me. So that's what we're going for. All right, let's start. Quickest one. This one, 1 minute explanation. It's the quick design, the graphic design quick challenge quiz. Look it up. You got a question? What does DPI stand for? None of these ring a bell? Hey, Google, what does DPI stand for? I'm going to quickly copy. I'm going to paste it in. And I'm going to read real quick. This top line, DPI most commonly stands for dots per inch. Right there. Done. Oh, shh. Did I activate my Google? Huh. Hilarious. I activate my Google on my phone. So free A to anybody. Just a free A. Just look it up. Kind of know it. Oh, I heard this word, DPI. Now I know what it means. It's going to come up again, but at least you've heard about it at least once in your graphic design, in the start of your graphic design career. Point, line, plane. In the textbook. And guess what? I supply it. There it is. Give her a look. Everybody so far, thank you. Great work. I've been seeing some really interesting comments. Comments from people who perused the book, found something interesting in it. Hey, I noticed on this page, they did such and such and such and such. Awesome. That's what I want to know. Start observing the world around you. Start observing books and looking at like what is in there. Oh, this is really, what the heck is this all about? Point line, plane, process. Whoa, like some may be over your head, but some may be really interesting as well. Just you let me know. What are you finding out in the world when you look at this book? Like that's pretty weird. Like what just in dots through. It's a photo And that's like one of those like stop sign metal pieces, but they're like, but all these colors are actually from the photo, but they almost seem disconnected in a way. Pretty cool stuff right there. So read, oh, this is sad. But they're points. I'm sorry to say it. They are points. And then there's a line, and the whole facade is a plane. Point, line, and plane. I don't like the way the dots were put in there, though. Dig around. Find stuff in here that you find amusing. Tell me about it. That's all you need to do. I'm not looking for a review. I'm not looking for whatever your favorite AI is to review it for you. I want you to review it. Just tell me about something. Cool stuff. It's wonderful. Open your mind to the visual world around you, starting with the book. All right, let's jump into this. Let's jump in. Design practice 2. Let's do it. I'm going to download it, just like you have to download it. Exactly the same process as the last session. Different program. Ooh, InDesign. InDesign's a gorgeous program. I'll say, like, if you were to rate like fun, Illustrator's fun, InDesign like elegant. That's how you rate them. Two different, like, there's a mix of what they can do. A lot, you can almost do the exact same things in both, but InDesign is better off when you're doing multi-pages and stuff like that. Illustrator is like not like single page, and you can do the illustrations, you can do icons and all this crazy stuff. You could still do in InDesign, but it's a little bit easier in Illustrator. There's a little more fun tools available for you. So, all right, I'm going to go to my downloads. I downloaded that. Went to my downloads. I'm going to right click. Everybody can right click. If you double click, right click, I right click. And then you can, oh, I don't have the extract all. Max doesn't have extract all. Well, in on a PC, you right click and it's extract all. On a Mac, you just can double click, bonk, and it opens up. You get a folder. And I'm going to open Jessica Walsh. Ignore the Mac OS X crap. It puts it in there. Ignore that. Just go to Jessica Walsh. And right here, it's beautiful magenta. I'm going to double click on that. And look at that. Just like, yeah.
What is it? What are the it's damaged? It says Adobe InDesign 2025 is damaged.
Oh, we'll have to switch you on a computer then. So yeah, if it's saying, that means that computer may have downloaded it incorrectly. So I can double check it, but you just switch a different computer. It's A-okay. Thanks for trying to follow along. All right, so this is just like the Illustrator one. Background, images, person, text, title. Now somebody did this, and I just want to make sure we're all doing it the correct way. You need to build on top of the artboard. So when you export as a PDF, it shows up. Well, what does that mean for you? Then what I want you to do, don't put in the background until the very, 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 very end. Leave that big red box sitting there. Put in everything else. So you can actually lock it. Just like in Illustrator, we have layers. And each layer is described for you. And then you have properties. And then you have, but the big thing is you have pages. So if there's multiple pages, which we'll do in the future, don't you worry, we're gonna have multiple pages. And we have links, properties, but it's just as easy. So I locked my background. That just means that right now I can't grab that red box. But what I can start doing is grabbing everything else and putting it in place. So I'm gonna use the magnifying glass. I'm gonna zoom in. No reason to work tiny. No reason to be squinting any more than you need to. And if you need to, move stuff at least in the vicinity and then zoom in more. How about that? Zoom in. See Jessica in all her red glory. And now this image, all I'm going to do, wonk, bonk, it clicked in. to the spot. Put it right in that corner. Beautifully right in that corner. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do that same thing I did in Illustrator. I'm going to hit the space bar. And when I hit the space bar, a little hand comes up. And when I click and drag, it grabs and moves. Now that was wrong because I held on too long as my demonstration. But if you just quickly click and drag, you can move around and never zoom out again. It's like walking around. I want to walk around my piece. And then I'm going to grab, and you know what? Well, let's put that photo back. Where'd the photo go? Real quick. It didn't like it when I did that slow teaching moment. And then just zoom in, space bar. And I'm still on that zoom, so I can do stuff. Now, I'm going to take that photo, I'm going to lock it. Why? Guess what? Because then it's in place. I never need to do it again. I can't touch it. I'm trying to drag her. It's locked. Perfect. Keep it away, locked up. It's done. All right, I'm going to grab her name. Now I'm going to get it close. And then what can you do? Remember, let's get it like middle. The middle of all the blurry. I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard. Just one click. And I'm getting it so it's close. Smart people notice the S is different here. Back when I built this, there's a whole debacle of fonts. But it's going to be good. Right there. I'm kind of like middle. I'm happy with that. I think it looks great. Let's lock it. Easy. Now I can't move it. No mistakes are going to happen from this point on because I locked it. I'm going to grab the old magnifying glass again and zoom out. I'm going to hit the space bar. I'm going to push it up. And I'm going to zoom back in. Move it over. Now, I'm going to grab this text. And this text, look, it snaps right into place up there. We'll talk about, like, any questions about it, hit me up after the lecture. It's easier just because I can keep the flow going. And then we'll because sometimes we have to re-download it. Make sure to try to open InDesign first and then open it in the design. So there's a couple solutions, but instead of me stopping, I'm going to keep going. And I want to hear from you later, Gracie, okay? Anybody who's having problems, I want you to contact me and we can sit around after the lecture and I'll stop recording and we just shoot me questions. We'll try to work through it. Or I can have a meeting with you sometime tomorrow as well. So we're going to get this in place. So I'm just going to have it lock. Bonk, bonk. It's locked right there. It looks great. Body copy. I'm going to lock that. And don't worry, anybody. These are going to be up. I post these on YouTube again. So if you're worried about, like, I'm not going to remember what he said, you're going to watch a YouTube video of it. Slow it down. I know everybody likes to watch me in slow motion. I think you can slow them down, can you? All right, the examples. Just going to grab them. One right there. Right? Let's do the upper one. And for that, I'm just, again, space bar. Just grab. Let's bring her down. And I'm just on that select tool. And I'm going to move it over. Get her locked in. Boom. This one, we don't have to distribute, but I'll double check it. Boom, locked in, centered. And I'm going to zoom out. And I'm just going to double check. What am I going to double check? Make sure these are perfect. How am I going to do that? I'm going to grab them, all three. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go over here and look at these. I want to make sure they're all aligned right edges. Boom. Nothing moved. Looks good. Then I'm going to distribute that spacing. This is up and down. This is side to side. I'm going to do up and down. Oh, it moved it a pixel. Pixel perfection. All in a click of a button. It's amazing stuff that we get to do. Amazing things we get to create. And it makes it so easy. We just have to get used to working with it. And that's why we start slow. We start with this stuff. Now, the only thing missing is a beautiful red background. right there, and I'm going to bring it on in. Now, some of you, and I want you all to start thinking about this, because this is a inherent problem with us beginning graphic designers, is there's the artboard, and the artboard stops, and that's the edge of what the human non-graphic designer, the NGD, as I call them, that's what they see. But as a graphic designer, we go beyond the artboard. We need to have what's called bleed. Areas around, this area around, I'm going to switch to the arrow, is called the bleed. And that is there to make up for any mistakes that happen when this goes to print or goes to the client or goes somewhere else. That gives us wiggle room, and you'll learn more about that. But that is exactly why this red box is the size that it is because we need to include bleed in our backgrounds to make sure that when it prints perfectly. Now we have this all beautifully done. We're going to double check. I'm going to double check my assignment. I'm going to go back here. And we're going to make a PDF, smallest file size. This one we're going to do export as InDesign. File, export, right down here. Export as Adobe PDF print, not interactive. We want a print. We're not web designers. We're graphic designers. Actually, this interactive, once you learn it, is pretty darn cool. But we want print, and I'm going to hit save. And in here, I'm going to hit smallest file size. Now, I saw this happen, and I want to make sure everybody knows about it. One, make sure View PDF after exporting is clicked so you can see your work. Don't ignore it. Because I'm going to open the PDF and be like, how did they not see that this was wrong, and go back and quickly correct it and then just save a new PDF? Super easy. I'm not asking you to like rebuild, you know, a house. It's just like go back, fix the one problem, redo it. You just go back. And then, so then we're going to double check marks and bleeds and make sure nothing is clicked here. None of them. Not a single one at this point. That's advanced. We're not there yet. We're not going to use, but make sure they are all turned off. I had somebody send one in, I believe bleed and slug was. And again, you can do these both in Illustrator and InDesign, this exporting portion. So just make sure under marks and bleed, nothing is clicked. We just want smallest file size. I want to double check that PDF. Boom. Let's do it. Look at that gorgeous piece you created. Perfectly aligned, perfectly set up. About Jessica Walsh, an amazing graphic designer. Read up on her. Find out more and turn this in and get an A. Easy. Love it. All right. I'm going to close this down. I don't need to save it. I get to do this assignment twice a year. Sometimes more. All right. So where does that put us now? Design practice 2. We're getting to the shape. I'm going to open it, but we're not going to quite start it. Here we are. Let's start talking. Let's go back to the beginning. Oh, this again. Yes. Go back to the beginning. Dun, dun, dun. All right. I described this last time, but I love talking about it. We have the point. Now the point, and I was thinking about this today. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like one way to think about a point too is a point is just a place in space. that is indicated by a mark. Within that, you cannot zoom in to it. If you zoom in, that point always stays like how it is. That point doesn't have any like quote unquote dimension. And the reason I was thinking about that is like a point, don't think of a point as a circle. That's a shape. That's where we're going to. But a point is just this dot that appears. And then the more you try to zoom in on it, the more it just stays where it is. You would be like to the molecule, but it's just a point. All right. Now we want to add, start changing that. We do our fun. We have a line now, representing the ocean. I don't know, just making stuff up. But, we went from point to point and we created a line. It can be that's still a line because we have not closed it. It's still open. We need to start, and it can be still open. It's still a line. It becomes a shape when we close the line. When there is no quote unquote points indicative of a starting and ending point. Crap. I was trying to think of another word for point. But when we have a shape, we do not know to which it started or ended. Better yet, which is I want everybody here from this point on in your life to do this. When somebody or yourself says, I want a red square, you draw them a red square. That's a red square. Can I bucket this? I think I threw away my bucket. There used to be a paint bucket. It's really amateur, but I don't use it. So this is a red square. Pretend it's all filled in, all right? Give me a benefit of the doubt. Okay, that is a red square. If somebody asks for a red square, do not give them this. Here's why. This is a red square. This is a red square with a black stroke. Why am I so adamant about this? And you'll hear me talk about this ad nauseum. Is there is a stroke around the square. It is a defining element of the shape, but it is not a needed element for the shape. And I think I talked about this last time. The reason being is, if you want a red square, well, I'll do a circle. So I was talking about squares. Let's do it. No, I already started on square. It will not run out of the square if you do not have a black line around it. A black line is not needed. So don't worry, when you draw a shape in any program from here on out in your life, make the shape the color that you want it to be, and don't have a black outline unless your decision is to have a black outline around your colored shape. It ruins it. Purity. Like, if I do this, we want it like edit. Fill. Look at how just pure that is. It's a pure red shape. Let's try. I haven't do this again. There's not much I hate strokes. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Edit. Fill. So I'm going to keep the color. Okay. Edit. Am I passing it up? Oh, stroke. Oh, pop to a different screen. Just give me a second. Black. 10. Okay. That to me looks clunky and weird. You know what I mean? There's the difference. There's no reason for a black stroke to border the beautiful, pure color. Keep that in mind. Now, whenever you look around, and you're going to look at all, like I'm going to show you examples, and I want you to start looking at graphic design pieces, barring cartoons. The first version is right. But cartoons are drawn with lines. That's a different expression of design into which a line is used differently. But we don't need that. And we want purity. Stop this. And you're not going to be allowed to do it either. All right, let's jump in. Let's look at the shapes. Dun, dun, dun. Zoom in, talk about it, and then look at it. All right. As we talked about, the shape is a flat enclosed area with two dimensions, a length and a width. We always talk length and width. Length, width, height. Oh, that's wrong. Who wrote this? Me? It should be length and height. But there's no depth, no 3D. Can't stick that. Length and width. We can have anything. Circles, squares, triangles, trapezoids, octagons, pentagons, or we can have organic shapes, irregular, amorphous shapes. Again, flat. If I were to pick it up and turn it sideways, it'd be a line. So, can I show that? Beep, beep, beep. So like this, if I turn this 90 degrees, that's what you get. All right. There's no form to it. It's flat. It's just flat. It is what it is. And actually, in that transition, what is actually happening, it's not a 3D effect, is that if we were to like kind of even draw it in 3D as it transitioned, it becomes a square to, I believe, what is a trapezoid to the point where it gets to a line, a perfect line. Hope that makes sense. It'll make sense eventually. Of course, shapes can vary in size, proportion, orientation, complexity, and they are the building blocks used to create all visual elements. That is correct. Not a line. Shapes are used to create elements. Lines are not. It's a new way for you to all think about it. You build with shapes. Think back. What is it? Think back to this. I should change this color so it's easier to see. I want to draw a bunny. I'm going to start with a circle shape. Then I'm going to draw an amorphous shape. Then I'm going to draw an amorphous shape. Then I'm going to draw a triangle. Then I'm going to draw a circle. You know what I mean? Like, it's all shapes. You draw with shapes. There's a big oval for, and I wasn't looking at the right screen, but I hope you get the idea. Okay, types of shapes. We're going into geometric shapes, precise, regular shapes like circles, squares, rectangles, triangles. Often convey order, structure, and stability. While organic shapes, irregular and asymmetrical shapes found in nature, they can convey a sense of fluidity, randomness. And there's one we're going to show you where like the shapes are normal, but they're just a little bit off in a great way. Like, just like, you know, instead of a perfect rectangle, they're just a little bit off. And it's still, you know, a shape. And it's like an irregular geometric. So you can combine these. Structure and form, negative space, hierarchy, and emphasis. So in structure and form, shapes define the structure and form of objects within a design. Clearly that. I need to make something, I make it out of shapes. Even if it's down in like down deep in the back of your memory, when you start with something, it is always starting with shapes. You'll see this happen when you start thinking about it. It's one of those things that like, as you do it and you think, oh, I just didn't realize, like my hand naturally starts like this. It's always a circle for some reason, you know, like, oh, okay, I'm thinking, how am I gonna do this? And I start drawing, you know, like my hand revolves in a circle line. I do this because we have these amazing tools here at MATC. I'm drawing on the screen. That's why you see such smoothness. Come on in, try them out. Negative space, the space around and between shapes is known as negative space. This is equally as important as defining the overall composition and balance. Negative space is also known as white space. It's got a bunch of names. It just is like room. I'd like to define it as personal space. How close do you want to be next to somebody you don't know? And think of that if you have two shapes. Is this two shapes? Or is that just one big shape? Or is it two shapes? There's a space in between them. Here there's not. That's just a line. It's a rectangle with a line down the middle. There's no space there. See that? So you just made a rectangle. So there's a debate can start now. But here, two squares. Again, I'm not filling them in. I wish I could fill them all in. Am I supposed to be using a shape tool? I guess I could use a shape tool. No, that gets in. I don't have all those settings set. Plus, I like the drawer. All right, hierarchy and emphasis. Varied shapes can contribute to the hierarchy. When you talk about hierarchy in design, 90% of the time, there's 3 points of interest. 1, 2, and 3. 1 is the most important. 2 is less important. 3 is even less important. And we show that in the design. If you have a design and everything's the same importance, it just sounds like somebody's talking like this and then nothing makes sense and there's no reason and it all just blends together and I don't know what's important or not because they talk the whole same way like a robot. But when we have hierarchy and emphasis, we can talk about number 1 and have it be in a shape, you know, like in a big bold rectangle and it's white, you know, like number 1. And that stands out. We included that hierarchy to make it look different, be louder, be prouder. It's the first thing we want people to see. And that's what hierarchy is when it comes to design. We guide people to see what we want them to see when we want them to see it. You, everybody in this class, that's the power that you now have. You control the way people take in information. Yes. Yes, you are. Expressive potential. Symbolism. Different shapes carry symbolic meaning. For example, circle may represent unity and eternity, while a triangle may suggest balance or tension. Here's a shape. Oh, it just popped in my head. The worst heart I've ever drawn. It's a shape. But think of the meaning that it carries. I have changed color. Do another one. Weep, 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 weep. It's a shape. I hope I don't have to draw in the middle of it. I hope everybody gets it. But if you see that shape in that color, I really hope that what you're thinking of is shapes carry a lot of meaning. Emotion and mood. Oh, just like the line. Sharp, angular shapes. Oh, it's tension, excitement, spikes, tight triangles. Or you can have just like super soft curves. Really relaxed. Let's go for nice little clouds. Oh, just a cloudy day. Real, soft. Or, Halloween's coming, so everything has spikes coming up and down to create bad teeth. That's what it is. I'm sorry, I made those were lines. Now they are shapes. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot to it. Application. I mean, this is in there. Shapes are made to create everything. Main one, logos, letters. Letters are created with shape. Everything is kind of based on shape. And then achieving harmony and balance between shapes is essential for creating harmonious, visual, pleasing compositions. All right, let's check out our samples here. Zoom in a bit more. All right, first one. Not a single line. Isn't that rad? Not a single line in this design. What you may perceive as a line is actually space between shapes, but not lines. A movie came out called Rocky. I don't know if everybody's all seen it. Good old Sylvester Stallone. I think he wrote, directed it. It was like his big debut. There's a poster, and he does this thing, and it's in Philadelphia, and he runs up a set of stairs. And when he gets up to the top of the set of stairs, and mind you, these are just shapes. They are not stairs, but just the way they're slightly angled, they look like stairs. He gets up to the top of the stairs, and he does this little salute. He's like, yeah, I made it to the top. I've seen the movie like once or twice. I don't know. I grew up in that period of time, so it was on TV a lot or whatever. I don't know it very well. But again, all shapes. You can even say, even the letters are all shapes. Nice, thick shapes. But super cool. So simple, yet so powerful. The French connection. Or affair. Triangles. Creates tension. I don't know what this is about. It's in a different language. But there's tension. This idea, the triangles, the broken glass effect, where everything's just shifted a little bit. Is it broken glass? Is it not? It's creating tension. And we have this, and then there's arrows. The triangles are arrows that help us lead us through the piece. We got orange coming up. We got orange coming down, leading us into these two characters. There's more tension in this one than there's this one. The way the face is broken up. All broken up with triangles. Different size triangles. Which then leads us across to this big full triangle in orange, which is pointing down to the name of the article. Oh, it's just some shapes, triangles. Sure, not a single line in there either. Okay, I don't count these. These are typographical things. Ignore those 2 lines. Yes, yes, yes. But again, just a hair of space. They didn't put a white border on there. There's no like white stroke. It's just the triangle with an equal distance all around it from the other triangles. No need to put in white where white's not needed. This will come up later on in life. But again, when we are talking, nothing has a black line around it. None of these shapes do. Not even Breathless. Not a single black stroke around anything. The color's staying where it is. It's not falling off. It's pure. We get to see the pure color. It gets the pure color of the background. We get to see the differences, the white to the cream, to the dark red. Oh, crap. To the gold. Sorry. I just always get these notifications once in a while around this time that the internet's slow. I'm on a plugin at school. But look at this. These like towers. And I think these are supposed to represent buildings. Again, I don't know why. Another French theme. It's not me. I try to look at like around the world. But they like represent buildings. And it's just like at the top of the buildings. And it's just kind of shape for shape. Let's just call it that. I'm calling this shape for shape's sake. But again, there's no reason to put a black border around them. Oh, it'd look horrible. Let's see how horrible it'll look. Thick black line around it. Yeah, you know, it just ruins it. Just darkens it. Where's the life in it? Don't do it. Joel's main takeaway was never to use a line and a stroke on a shape. It's one of them. Look at his awesomeness for binoculars. Again, only shapes are needed to represent a human figure using a set of binoculars. Isn't that crazy? It's just simply crazy. Just color shapes. We have the yellow hand swooping up. Beautifully done. Like just, I love those little like, sharp little fingers. And then the pinky just out enough. You know, so much expression in just this weird shape. We got the little lippies. And if you zoom in, it is a continuous shape top to bottom. They're connected right in the corner there where my hand is. Pretty rad. And then of course the binoculars. You know, we got the outer part that you touch, bezel, I don't know the name, focusing thing. That's usually in the middle. And then that green, that's that look when you know that stereotypical look that we get when you see like the coated lenses and it kind of reflects that green. It's coated protection and polarizing and all that crud represented in green. And it's just a very cool. And again, the letters, big, blocky, shapy. Shape. And not a single stroke to be seen. Except for when we come here to Milton Glaser. Some of these other the designers are world renowned. Milton's probably like top on this page. Paul Rand's pretty high. Milton Glaser. I'll give you a heads up on the history class. You know that I Heart New York? He is the man who came up with I Heart NY. And he didn't get paid 1 cent for it. It was a revived New York City. I don't know the whole story. But this, Dylan. Oh, Bob Dylan. There's a movie coming out about this guy, right? With the bear dude. I don't know his name. But again, all shapes. You know, Dylan had this crazy messed up hair. And these are all just Creo shapes. And I am remiss to say that there's only certain amount of lines. But if I were to take this apart, I may discover that in fact every shape is standing alone, and I can find the lead out to the face that would then tell me that each one of these is a shape separated by a distance from the shape next to it, instead of those being actual strokes. Amazing what you can think of. And then look at these letters. Look at these guys. Perfect shapes. I've done that a lot. I love doing that with letters, like taking them apart and just making them like really basey shapes like that. Like that A. The A is just a triangle. The D, square with a rounded front. Super cool. Great stuff. Great stuff, this shape. See? All right. Any questions about shape? You want me to talk more about shape? I can. Just kidding around. All right. Presentation time. Same thing as we did last time. Book cover, album cover, movie poster. Let me get on to it. I got some stuff open. Shape research. Same thing, 16 by 9. Clearly label. Choose a layout that enhances the content. Create a visually appealing presentation. Do not squash the images. We want perfection. We want perfection in size. We want perfection in distance between each design element we place into the document. We want to look. We don't want anything touching edges. We don't want anything touching anything else. Personal space. Design personal space. Let's do this. Let's make one. I'll do it quick. I'm using this ugly setup. I'm going to delete these. I'm just going to go and delete. This is some Google slide thing. Delete, 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 delete. I'll keep this one. I'm going to go up, hit delete. I just want that teal background here. What I got to put shape research by Scott, by me. All right. I went back further in time. I only typed this in so you guys wouldn't have to sit there and watch me type it in. So let's start with book covers. This is literally just typed in 1940s book covers, hit search, and look at the first one. Look at the second one. Shape. Look at this one. It's an illustration made of shapes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to images. And then I'm going to go to tools. And I'm going to go to large for size. Just narrows things down. And I'm going to peruse. And I'm going to look. I think I'm going to do this one. And you may not find what you want. Change the era. Change the search bar. But find shapes. I'm going to go with that first one. Got that. Circle. And then I'm going to call these our shapes. It's a little bit on the edge, but it's not so like, it's not like photographic, like they tried to make it super photographic. Does that make sense? Where I'm going, I get shape out of this one, where I'm accepting myself with shape. And I may question you. Don't be scared. I may question it. I'm going to save image as. I'm going to save it. I'm going to make a new folder shape. Oh, I hope this doesn't end up in line. Damn it. I think I drag it over there. Oh, whatever. I'm going to hit save. Good enough. Again, this is for, again, here we go. I'm going to go to images. This is album covers, 1940s album covers. You don't have to do it from the same era all the time. I'm just like going all over the place. But geez, oh geez, look at the shapes. Look at the shapes. Look at the shapes. This is shapes. Shapes are coming to my ears. More. Tools, excuse me. Tools. Large. Let's just do this one, eh? Look at those awesome like shapes. It's got dots. It's got wiggly shapes. It's got donut shapes. Save image as. Save. This one's gonna be a tough one. The reason being is in the 1940s and stuff, movie posters were celebrated something different than they do. Actually, now is hard too. There's an era where they got a little artsy and it's easier. 80s were pretty like only about the actors and actresses. So this will be hard. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna find one though. Let's do it. Where can I look and beyond? Look beyond. I kind of maybe go with this one. The big shape here. The stripes in their shirt, maybe. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to take it as these are two, like it can be, I'm going to consider it as three shapes. The red, the yellow, because they're highlighting it on purpose, and then the blue shape. I'm going for it. I accept that. Save image as. There you go, save. Now I'm going to open my project, and I'll place my images in. I'm going to insert an image, upload from computer. I'm going to find my folder where I place them so carefully that I put them inside a different project. Here they are. Now, as you can see, I have an error. This is a WEBP. All I need to do is open that quickly in Photoshop and make it a JPEG. So let me show you how to do that, because somebody's going to run into that problem, and it takes a second. And you should have Photoshop as part of the Create cloud. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Open. I'm going to go to where that is. This WebP. I'm going to hit Open. And all I'm going to do is go to File, Save As, and then down here, where it's format, just change it to a JPEG. That's it. And then hit save. Oh, that's fine. Just leave it. Hit OK. Now when I close that and I go back to here, it is now converted and it's ready for me to grab, open, and put in. Now look at that. It put them in for me beautifully. It sized them, it did everything. But you know what? I'm going to crop mine and I'm going to do it a little bit better. And I need to be able to fit in my text. So this one, I'm going to go to the crop tool, which is right here. And I'm just going to bring up the bottom. I don't want the black. Get that out of there. This one, I don't want any of that little white. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to crop it. We don't want any of that extra sloppiness. That's what that is. You leave it in, you're sloppy. I want this clean room. And then this one, let's do it again. Crop it. Nope. Again, I'm telling you, these giant cursors that I use always makes it a little more difficult. Boom, cropped. Now let's resize. I'm going to grab the corner, and what am I going to hold? Shift. Please. I'm going to know, and I call you out when I see it happen. I'm going to be like, what's up? Why is it all weird? And look, I'm going, and I'm watching for size relationship. with those blue lines that pop up. Get these the same height. Why not? That one can be smaller. But let's see. If I'm holding down shift, oh, trifecta on size, distance. Oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to grab all three. I just clicked and dragged across, and I'm going to move them to the center. Now they're all perfectly centered. I want to bring it down. I want this distance and this distance. See that border? I'm going to use my arrow key, and I'm going to eyeball a little bit, but I'm going to get it better than what it was. I'm just tapping down. I do not want objects a bigger nudge. I'm fine with a lot of taps. Why did you have to interrupt me? All right, looking great. Let's add a little text. I'm gonna draw my text box. I'm gonna make sure I'm perfectly centered, perfectly set up. Well, that wasn't correct. As you can see, I don't use this all the time. Oh, just double click on it. And this is my book cover. Now on this one, I want them, what I'm going to say is left justified. So then I'm going to tap this. I'm going to tap it over if it lets me. I'm going to tap it over. And my eye is looking for a lineup of this edge here to the edge of the B. And it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going for a look. The look of the book. And I think I'm actually, when I get this done, I'm going to bring them all down because I want this higher. I don't want it touching, but I want it maybe like right there. And now I'm going to grab it, and I should be able to hold down Shift and Option and move it over, and it brings one with me. So I held down two quick keys. On a Mac, it's Shift and Option while dragging, and it'll make a copy as you're pulling the item over. Brilliant. This is a movie poster. Let's get this. I'm going to do that same thing where I'm going to click on the edge and I'm going to tap it over. And I'm watching right here. Get that perfect. Look how nice that looks. Last one. Hold on, Shift and Option. You can also copy and paste. It just pops it somewhere, but everything will line up. All those lines that happen and show you in blue and red and like this is lined up with this, is lined up with this. Use them. Album cover. Second last thing I'm going to do. Grab the edge. Tap it over. Looking. Just use my eyeball. I could pull a guide if I was really. That looks pretty good to me. That looks good to me. That looks good to me. Now I'm going to grab everything. I've grabbed everything. And I'm just going to hold down Shift and drag it until I see a center. Nope. See that red line? I'm going to let go. Now it's perfectly centered on the page. Everything is perfectly aligned. Everything is perfectly spaced. Everything is perfectly ready for me to go to File, Download, PDF, open my science project. There's page 1. There's page 2. Turn it in. Done. Beautiful stuff. All right. Last one. Shape project. Illustrator. You are going to be creating 6 compositions, but actually 3. There's going to be a matching. You're going to create, with using shapes, a balanced and unbalanced composition using the exact same shapes, one above, one below. Let's dig in. I'm going to download. And there we are. All right, once again, let's walk through this. Red, we leave, and we can leave alone. You can turn off, please turn off my example, right? We don't need to see that. The text boxes is the one, but you actually don't need to retype anything. So you will be doing, let me repeat it a third time. You will be doing your artwork here on the lowest layer, not on any of the other ones. Your artwork, I can make this, here, can I make it bigger? There. If you can't read the whole thing, you just drag and pull aside. Your artwork here on this layer, all right? Now, let's talk about it. This is the story of a triangle on a rectangle. Here they are completely balanced, solid as a rock. You have to push hard to get this off balance. But in this one, look at how the triangle is precariously placed. It's just about to fall. It is unbalanced. It's a visual that you can tell a story to people. And that's why we're doing this. But we're going to do it only with black shapes. Black only. You haven't graduated the color yet. Next one, you get gray, I believe, gray. But in Illustrator, and I'm going to go over all the shapes, and I want you to play with the shapes. And let me tell you something. Go off the side. So you see this. All of this space, all of this dark gray, you can play, and nobody sees it. It's off the artboard. You can't do anything in this light gray. So you know distances. I believe this is 16 by 9 inches, 16 wide, 9 tall. If my memory serves me right, the largest artboard you can create in Illustrator is 255 inches by 255 inches. So that's like this play space that you have that you can just noodle around with, play around. So I'm actually just going to go off board. I'm going to keep this just so everybody who's like referencing is like, but where's that thing? It's here, it's on the side. But I'm going to play over here and then bring in anything I see that's fun. All right, about 5 down. In your Illustrator, you'll find a rectangle. Well, a rectangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure here and in properties, we go to a black fill and a stroke of nothing. You may need to reset this. I will only accept black fill and no stroke. I will check your work. You turn in the native file, I believe. I will check it. I'm going to go and be like, oh, forgot to turn off the stroke. Got to learn to turn that stroke off. How do you do it? When you click on that box, you get a lot of stuff. That first one here, the white box with a red line through it, the don't symbol, international, that's no. So for the stroke, we want no stroke. And for the fill, we want black, black, black. Like there's a ton of places. It's all the same black. Just use it. Now, for a rectangle, I can just simply drag and move. Right? I want it long. I want it tall. And when I get it where I want, I let go. That's a rectangle. Make 40 of them. Play around. To get a square, I simply hold Shift. Shift, there you see it down there. I'm trying to use it. Shift, and then when I drag, I get a square. Any size I want, as long as I'm holding Shift. Oh, I can even flip, flop, flip, but it's always a square. and I let go of the mouse, and then I let go of shift. Hold on shift the whole time. That's how you create a square. Now, once you get said item, and this is universal. I'm trying to remember all the little bits and pieces. You can modify by grabbing these nodes. If you go to the corner, I can rotate. But if it's a square, no matter where you grab, no matter what you do, you always hold shift. The second you don't hold shift, it is no longer a square, it has become a rectangle. It is geometrically changed definitions. It's important. It's important to know that. But again, you can, I'm going to undo that. It's driving me nuts, not a square. And then I can, from the corner, rotate, do whatever you want. Next one up, rounded rectangle. I don't know what I got to say about this. You can do rounded rectangle here by grabbing that little inner node. I have no idea why they have it built in. It's the same dumb thing. I don't round corners very often, and that's why I call it dumb. Some people love it. I do it when I need like a certain effect, but I'm not like always like walking around being like, hey, I don't feel like drawing a rounded square. Like, there it is. Great. It looks like an app. There's my app. Easy peasy. But you can, again, you can do these nodes. I have no idea why they have it separated out and they just haven't removed this in here. Who knows? Same stuff applies. Rotate, turn, pull, push. Hold down shift. All right. Next one down. Ellipse tool. That's an ellipse. That's an ellipse. Same things. I want a fat ellipse. I want a skinny ellipse. But wait, I want a circle. Hold down shift, drag, and you got a circle. That's it. I'll make the circle bigger. Hold down shift. Bigger, smaller, bigger, whatever. Always hold down shift to constrain the proportions. Your finger should always be over the shift button. Like, it shouldn't be doing anything else unless it's like me taking a drink of tea in the middle of a lecture. That hand should be on the shift. Or feeding yourself, getting your keyboard all full of crumbs. Disgusting. That's how you do a circle. And an ellipse. An ellipse, not an oval. We are professionals. No, nobody calls it ellipse anymore. At the old, back when I was in college, we used to buy ellipse guides. They like had them pre-formed and you had to trace them with your pencil. They were ellipse guides. Holy crap, were they expensive. Like $100 back in the 80s. That was a lot of money back then. And I was in college. Like, wait, what? For a bunch of plastic templates? All right, next one down. This one's magical, so start. I'm not going to talk about the Flare tool. The Ric Flair tool, I don't care about. We're never going to use it. All right. For this, always it starts with the hexagon. I always just hold down shift no matter what. And now I'm going to zoom in. You need to see the magic. It doesn't really help a lot. I've drawn a hexagon, and gosh darn it, I wanted an octagon right here. See that node hanging out in between, and it goes plus or minus? Watch the magic. All I do is drag it one way or the other way. How many sides do you want? Right? So rad. Love it. Because then you just start. Like, instead of like futzing and double clicking, because I think you can double click and preset things, boom, right in. You just start pushing and pulling and making it how you want. And then you can round the edges. You can make it mushy. Or you can hold on shift, resize it. Again, I wouldn't do this unless you're holding down shift. All right. But it's an amazing, like, how do I make a stop sign? Done. I have a stop sign. It was that I didn't have to think about it. Back in the day, you had to draw like rectangles and rotate them and then connect them. It's like, boom, this is just like so easy. Last one. And then you can just work on your balance and unbalance. Star. Everybody loves it. Again, I start by holding down shift. This has 3 amazing modifiers to it, similar to the other shape. This one, like, they made this like super obvious though. They're like, look right here. Like, I don't know why'd they leave this guy out? He's just got a little stupid node. And then the star, let me delete this. The star gets its own. Boom, 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 boom. Move it. You want to celebrate? You want a lot? You got to have 20. I'll give you 20. I think you can go higher and you can type it in under properties somewhere here. If you click those 3 dots, like you can like 11, I think you can scale it there, 50. You have 50's max. All right, so that's just on this edge, right? Now I can reduce the inner circle and I can reduce the outer circle, make it bigger or smaller, or I can do the same with the inner portion by just grabbing the nodes. I can round the tip, or I can round the inside. Whoa! Look at that. Look at one-step process to get a super complex shape. Super fun. Play around with the shapes, explore the shapes, and create a balanced and unbalanced. And the shapes you use in balance are the shapes you use in unbalance. These 2 match, these 2 will match, and these 2 will match. You can do 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 10 and 10. I've seen a lot. I've seen it all. Have some fun. Play with black shapes. Make sure that stroke is turned off. Boo! Turn that off. And I want to see it again. Have some fun. Create some tension. Create some wicked balance. Most of all, have some fun. Play around. All assignments given today on Tuesday are due next week, Tuesday. Everything's always 1 week. All right. I'm not going to fully close out. Let me say goodbye, and I'm going to stop recording, but I'll keep it open. If anybody has questions, I can try to help you out. Thank you, everybody. You know how to get a hold of me outside of this quick little lecture. Yeah, reach out. If you have questions, comments, concerns, whatever. I check daily. Check today. I should have time to check before I have to go today. I check whenever I can. I try to stay on top of it. Of course, if it's something's due or like I'm in a lecture and you're like, I can't turn it in, and it's like 30 minutes before class, I can't get to it, but just, be understandable. So, all right, great. I hope you enjoyed shapes. Thursday, form. Watch out. All right, thank you very much. I will see you on Thursday. All right, thank you. Bye.